Your phone blows at 6 a.m. A rate lock page. 7.12. You refresh. The number turns red. 7.25. Nothing you can point to caused it. The Fed didn't hike. Inflation didn't spike. The jobs report was boring. But that red number just added $130 to your payment. Every month. For 30 years. Someone caused this. You will never meet them. One small decision. At a desk. Thousands of miles away. It crossed an ocean. And picked your pocket. By the end of this, you'll know exactly who. And exactly how. Here's what everyone gets wrong about the national debt. They stare at the size. $39 trillion. So large it stops meaning anything. Shrink it. The interest alone runs past $1 trillion a year. Roughly $32,000 a second. In the time you read that sentence. The government borrowed a year's salary. Just to pay interest. On old debt. And that bill just passed a line it was never supposed to pass. America now spends more on debt interest than on its entire military. The most expensive army in history. Now the cheaper line item. Paying more for yesterday than for tomorrow. But the size isn't the dangerous part. A big number just sits there. The machine underneath is what's dangerous. It feeds itself. Can't cover spending? Borrow. Borrowing adds interest. Interest adds to next year's spending. Borrow more. At climbing rates. A credit card paying its own minimum with a second card. You know how that ends. You've just never watched a country do it live. Spread the interest across every household. $7,000 or $8,000 a year. Per family. You never get the bill. You pay it in 100 small ways you never trace. For years, none of this mattered. Because somebody was always there to buy the debt. For decades, that buyer was reliable. Patient. Boring, in the best way. So reliable, nobody noticed they existed. You don't thank the floor for holding you up. You assume it always will. Then the floor moved. Not dramatically. Quietly. One institution, holding a mountain of American debt, got a new option at home. A safe return. In their own currency. No conversion. No hassle. They didn't panic. They didn't dump. They just bought a little less. Let old bonds mature. Quietly didn't replace them. One calm decision. Multiplied across a generation of money. At the exact moment America needed to sell more debt than ever. Its most loyal buyers stepped back from the table. And here's what nobody talks about. It's who replaced them. Patient institutions used to hold this debt. Buyers playing decades-long games. That changed. Hedge funds and traders became the largest foreign holders. Traders are not patient. Their job is to move the instant conditions shift. The market swapped its calmest shock absorber for a hair trigger. The floor didn't disappear. It got nervous. You don't need a crash to break a market. Just everyone standing closer to the exit. Here's the chain. Shorter than you'd think. Fewer buyers. Bond prices fall. Prices fall, yields rise. Seesaw mechanics. Your mortgage isn't set by the Fed. It's built on the 10-year Treasury yield. Banks stack their cut on top. Yields climb, your rate climbs. On a random Tuesday. For a reason invisible from your kitchen. One Fed bank ran the number. One big month of foreign selling pushes yields up 0.5%. On a normal home loan, an extra $130 a month. 30 years. Paid by a family that has no idea why. And the pressure isn't only from overseas. It's down the street too. A regional bank. The kind that gives small businesses their credit line. Sitting on a pile of commercial real estate loans. Office towers. Strip malls. Here's the ugly secret of commercial loans. They don't pay off slowly like your house. They come due all at once. One giant balloon payment. Borrowed when rates were near zero. Landing now. Rates dramatically higher. Half-empty towers worth dramatically less. The refinancing math doesn't work. So the bank does what banks do. It extends the loan. And pretends. That's the actual industry term. Extend and pretend. The same strategy as not opening your credit card statement. Push the deadline. Look healthy on paper. Pray. Individually reasonable. Across the system, losses pile up in the dark. And a bank sitting on quiet losses gets cautious. No to the small business. No to the young couple's mortgage. So you're in the middle. Foreign money thinning out. Pushing rates up. Home credit tightening. Making everything harder to borrow. 2 pressure points. An ocean apart. Squeezing the same person. Now let's argue the other side. Hard. Because the case against panic is strong. America is not Greece. It borrows in its own currency, which it also prints. That's a cheat code. It can never be forced to default. It can always create the dollars. A dramatic default is off the table. People have predicted America's end since the 1980s. Every one of them has been wrong. So take a breath. But here's the trap in that comfort. Every reassurance is true. Which is exactly why the collapse won't look like a collapse. They can't be forced to default. They can always print. So when the debt gets too heavy to carry honestly, that's the door they walk through. No missed payments. Every bill paid on time. In full. With dollars quietly worth less each year. Not an explosion. An erosion. Inflation doing a default's job. Slowly enough that you blame the grocery store. Not the government. It has a polite name. Financial repression. Boring on purpose. Nobody marches over a phrase like that. Which is why they picked it. Rates held a hair below inflation. 4 years. The debt shrinks in real terms. Your savings melt. No vote required. You are the repayment plan. You just never got a say. It's the raise you were proud of for 3 weeks. Until the grocery receipt swallowed it. Now. The person I promised you. The one who started this. His name is Kenji. He manages money for a large Japanese institution. His entire career was boring in the best way. Money came in. He parked it in American treasuries. The safest asset on earth. Not out of love for America. Japan's rates were near zero for a generation. Nothing to earn at home. So he sent it across the Pacific. Kenji, and thousands like him, were the invisible floor under the treasury market. Then Japan's central bank raised rates. Highest in 3 decades. Fractions of a percent. But for Kenji, everything changed. A safe return at home. His own currency. The reason to ship money overseas disappeared. For the first time in his career. Kenji brought the money home. No panic. No dumping. Just buying a little less next time.
That calm decision, repeated by thousands like him.
Is the red number on your phone? There's a second person too. Rosa.
The loan officer.
Extending the loan she knows is underwater. Hoping tomorrow fixes it. Kenji and Rosa are the same story. Two costumes. Neither is a villain. Neither is panicking.
Both perfectly reasonable.
Inside a system that no longer rewards patience. That's the secret of this kind of collapse. It needs no villain. No crash. Just millions of reasonable people. Making one small sensible choice. All leaning the same direction. At once. So when people ask if the collapse is coming, the tense is wrong. It's not a forecast. It's a description. The loyal money is already going home. The interest is already outpacing the economy. Your dollar is already buying less than last year. The beginning already happened. You just never got an announcement.
Because collapses that default in public are the rare kind.
This is the common kind.
A slightly higher mortgage rate.
On a quiet Tuesday. Asking you to assume it's nothing.
Somewhere right now, someone refreshes a rate lock page.
Watches a number turn red. Never wondering about a man in Tokyo. Now you know his name.
If this changed how you read that red number, subscribe.